Hi everybody, Jeremy here from Video Editor Studio, and today I'm gonna share with you a free sample from our cinematic hype pack for Davinci Resolve. So let's check it out. Alright, so you can download this title by clicking the link in the description below. You'll get the zip file, just double click on it to unzip it. In the folder, you have a couple of things. You have the license, the instruction, the DRFX file to install, and the font. Please make sure to install the font. That's very important for the title to work properly. To install the font, just double click on it and start the installation process. Then you can just go on the DRFX file, double click on the DRFX file. It will prompt open this window, click install, and now it's installed on your computer. Now we're in the edit page of Davinci Resolve. We're gonna go over to effect, title, and here we can search for sample. It will just bring up all the sample that you may have already from us and the cinematic hype sample. You can then just take it and drag it here in your timeline. As you can see here in our viewer, we have a lot of options. We're gonna dig into that in a second. But first, I'm just gonna bring that to the second track and I'm gonna bring in some footage. It's meant to have your piece of footage behind and then you have your title running in front of it. Now let's dig into the setting here in the inspector. I'm just gonna extend the inspector and you have two types of settings that you can tweak. The first is gonna be the design, so the size, position, the different text, the background, etc. And the second gonna be the animation length, the animation in, the animation out, etc. And we're gonna see that together right now. Let's start with the animation. By default, when you bring the title in, you have the original animation in selected, which is the animation that we've made for that specific title. And by default, there is no animation out selected here in none. But if you would like to have the same animation out as you have in the animation in, you can just select replicate in animation. And here it will just do the same animation out as the animation in. The only issue is that right now we have only a 5-second clip and the two animation overlap and cannot work. So we're gonna have to extend that a little bit to give it the time to have both our animation in and our animation out. If we want to use it just as a still frame, we can do that by just selecting animation out none and animation in none. And basically right now we just have a still frame with the title and there is absolutely no animation happening. Now you have 6 other animation presets that you can choose from. You have pan right, pan left, rise up, drop down, zoom in, zoom out, and of course the original and none that we just displayed earlier. And those options are available also for the animation out. Now I'm gonna go back to just select replicate in and the original, so we have all animation going. What if right now I feel like the animation is too slow and I would like to speed it up? Well, that's where animation length in second comes in. So basically here, you have the possibility to choose a number between 0.5 and 5, and it will just dictate the speed of the animation. So right now the animation is 3 seconds, but we could want to change it for only 1 second and then the speed will be only 1 for the animation in and out. And as you can see, the animation is way quicker. The boundary of the animation length control is between 0.5, so half a second, and 5, so 5 seconds. Another thing to note is that to create those animations, we used anim curve. So that means that those titles will work with any frame rate and you can just extend and stretch them as much as you want. And the animation will just stay consistent at the same speed. And that's sum it up for the animation part. Now let's just dig into the design. So here, the first parameter that you have is size and position. So as the name dictates, you can just reduce the size of the overall title. You can adjust also the position to move it left, right, up. You can adjust the angle as well. The second one down there will be text 1. So that will be the main text that we have on screen display right now. So you can change it for whatever you want. Here, we're gonna change for Davinci Resolve, for example. You can change the font if you wish to. There is the size, the tracking between the letter. There is the line spacing if you have multiple lines. You can also adjust here the opacity by reducing it to 0 if you need to. Just make it slightly transparent, etc. You can switch also the appearance here by switching from fill to outline. So you can easily create an outline text and radically change the style of this title card. Here, adjusting the thickness of the outline, for example. Obviously, you can adjust the color right there. And you have also the possibility here to play with the drop shadow. So there is a shadow in the background that could help you to separate a bit more the title with the background. So we don't see much right here. But if I were to bring here a gray solid in the background, as you can see now, we can clearly see the drop shadow on our title. And here you could adjust the strength of that drop shadow. So making it basically disappear or having it very strong. You can also adjust the drop shadow angle right there. And you can adjust the drop distance. So if that's close to your text or far from your text, and you can as well change here the blur. So you could have it very blurry, or you could have it like very strong, like so. And basically creating some sort of like duplicate of your text here in another color. You can change how you see that color. So here, if we were to use that just as a duplicate and not a shadow, we could use that and change the color here to red, for example. Right now, I would like to reset the parameter to the default parameter. To do that, you can just double click on any parameter. It will reset it to the default value. All right, that's it for text 1. Text 2 will be pretty similar with the font, color, size, tracking, line spacing, and center. And then text 3 will be, again, very similar. It's the same. And text 4 will be very similar as well. You know, we just made it very easy for you to have the entire layout and switch name very quickly, and have something that is up and running in no time. Now the last drop down background I think is very, very useful, especially for those kind of title card. It basically creates an animated background between your piece of footage and your title to create more separation between the two. So here, if you were to raise the opacity, as you can see, it creates a background between those two. Right now it doesn't need to because the footage is already very dark, but if we had something that was very bright, it will really help to make our title pop. For example, here, if we were to use that footage that is way brighter, it can be a bit harder to read here. For example, on the wings of that bee, we could just go down to background and raise the opacity quite a bit, and it will just help us create more separation between the footage and the title. We could easily adjust here the width. We could adjust the height to really localize if we need to. We could adjust the corner radius. We could adjust the soft edge of this to just make it affect only, like make a gradient, and so it doesn't affect the entire image necessarily. So we could really localize where we want that darker area to be. We can make that background a gradient if we wish to, and we could click here, for example, invert it and create a vignette instead. So there is really a lot of very cool application with this, and on top of that, it's animated. So you will have an animation in and an animation out, which is basically a simple fade in and fade out. So here, as you can see, when I play it, it's animated with the title. So we have a simple fade in that go with it. And that's pretty much everything you need to know about this sample. Obviously, if you want to do more about it, you can go here and have access to the entire node structure right there in Fusion. But we've created a bunch of custom tools, so it might be a bit hard to get around. We really made sure that it was very easy to use from the end page, so you shouldn't have to go necessarily to the Fusion page. This sample is from our Cinematic Hype Pack, which is a compilation of 30 title cards for Davinci Resolve. You can check it out on our website. We packed a lot of diversity and different kind of style together to really create something that can match any project and get a lot of flexibility in it. I hope this video was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know down in the comment what kind of pack you would like us to build in the future. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye. Speed up your workflow and create better videos using the pack available on our website, including titles, transition, and templates built only for Davinci Resolve. Get started today by downloading our free starter pack containing a compilation of 20 titles curated from our library. Link in the description below or at videodjstudio.com.